Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. Is the government limping towards the elections and has it become a lame duck administration? That's the key issue I should explore today with the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Priya Ranjan Dasmunsi. Mr. Dasmunsi, there's a widespread belief that your government has lost control over its agenda and that it's limping towards the elections. Have you become a lame duck administration?
Absolutely not. This is mostly a campaign of those who want to crush the economy of India and to see that UPA government is not completing the full term, but it's not the case so.
All right.
We are absolutely in position. Parliament is in position. The government is in position. Everything is in position.
Let's then look at the serious challenges you face, and let's start, in fact, with inflation. It's already touched 8.75%. It's heading towards 10%, maybe 11%. Do you have any idea when inflation will start to fall?
Well, I'm absolutely hopeful that by the time we completely get hold of the entire prospect of the Kharif harvest, I'm absolutely clear it will come dramatically down and substantially down, if not fully as we felt, but substantially.
You're saying two important things. First of all, it's not going to start coming down till October.
Well, I think till October the trend will start. Trend will start before the October, and much depends on, you are not catching the main point, much depends on the oil economy of the whole world.
Well, absolutely, but I'll come to that in a moment's time. You also said that by October it will come substantially down. How much is substantially down?
Well, I cannot calculate the substantially down, but certainly one of the best in Asia and certainly surpassing all the figures and statistics of NDA rule.
I'll tell you why I'm doubtful, because in March, Mr. Chidambaram said on the 31st of March that inflation will soon start coming down. He was wrong. In April, Kamal Nath claimed that the decline had started. He was
right.
wrong.
Chidambaram did expect, Kamal Nath did expect, but again, Kamal Nath and Chidambaram could not imagine and expect as the nation, and you also, that oil economy should go beyond anybody's control.
And in which case, how do I know?
For which Saudi king himself is trying his best.
In which case, how do I know you're not wrong? How do I know that your prediction that it will come down by October isn't just a false hope?
Prediction is a word of the astrologer, not the politicians.
But this is exactly what you're doing. You have no basis on which you can say with any conviction that it will come down by October.
We are absolutely in conviction talking. The figure inflation may not be correctly predicted or cannot be assumed that it will go to that astronomical figure. But certainly, I should say with confidence, our economy is at the best of the all possible manner in the country, if not in Asia.
I'll tell you a second reason why I doubt you. Not just because Chidambaram was wrong and Kamal Nath were wrong and they were predicting without knowing.
Nobody's wrong. I can predict tomorrow what OPEC will decide.
The second reason why I'm in fact doubting you is because last week on this program, Montek Singh Ahluwalia said that if the oil price increases substantially internationally after June 4th, when India raised its price, then India would be forced to increase the price of petrol and LPG. And since June the 4th, in fact, the international price of oil has increased by $15, which is over 12%. So instead of inflation coming down, as you're saying, it's actually destined to go up and up.
No, I did not say inflation will come down.
But you did.
I say inflation is substantially linked to a key factor is one, the oil economy of the world. The second, of course, the commodity essential food items based on own domestic production. And at the present moment, I can say with full confidence that in Asia, we are absolutely secure so far food front is concerned. And depending on the crop prospect of the Kharif, if it goes well, I can say inflationary trend, which people are thinking will go beyond a margin, beyond a mark, it will come down.
I deliberately didn't interrupt you because I thought it was only fair that you should explain what you're trying to say, because actually you've confused the audience. You began by saying...
I am not.
But let me finish.
I am not.
Let me finish. You began this interview by saying that by the time the Kharif crop comes in, which is October, inflation will come down substantially. Now you're saying you didn't say inflation will come down. So which are you saying? Will it come down? Won't it come down? Will it go up?
This is the unique character of yours, Karan. That's why I love your interactions and talk. I never said I'm misleading. I said categorically, inflation is substantially linked with the oil economy of the world. B, partially linked with the food front scenario of the country and the whole continent. And there I said, if inflationary trend is to be managed, I do hope substantially after the Kharif prospect is assessed in the field, it will come down. And I also say Dramatically, nobody can predict what will be the scenario tomorrow, taking care of the oil economy of the whole world.
So what you're saying is you hope it will come down, but you can't be sure it will come down. In fact, you have no idea whether it will come down.
I do hope it will come down.
But you can't be sure.
I can't predict because I am not an astrologer.
So the truth is you don't know.
Politically I say, neither you know.
Yeah, but what do you mean?
Neither you know.
But what do you
nor
mean?
any expert know.
But what?
Nor any international expert know. Nor even the politicians of the country can predict. What I can predict that our government will place finally at the end of the day most viable, stable, convincing economy of Asia, and also much better than the NDA managed economy in India.
But the truth is this is just hope. This is just loud talk. You're
hope,
just being brave. You don't really know.
Why don't you come with the facts and figures?
But I have come with facts and figures.
I request you, pursue two ex-finance minister, one Jaswant Singh and one Jaswant Sinha, and one ex-finance minister, Pranab Mukherjee, and present finance minister, Chidambaram, to bring them to a table and give them 10 minutes equal on the figures. And I tell you, even if I use the language of cricket 2020, then the Jaswant Singh and Jaswant Sinha will be just knocked out in the first over by Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Pranab Mukherjee.
But what has this got to do with inflation coming down and the fact that you've confused the issue? You're evading, you're deliberately not answering. You're going around in circles.
I'm telling you, first, inflationary trend is not in the hand of a particular country now in the whole world.
All right, it's out of your control. It's out of your control.
Look at China, the last May. Last May, China, the food inflation is more than 18%.
Actually, forgive me,
18%
you've made a terrible mistake.
No,
you've raised China. This year alone, the Chinese inflation has come down from slightly over 9% to just over 7%.
Yes.
So I think you're raising a bad example. But let's leave inflation aside.
No, I'm giving a good example.
Let's leave inflation aside.
Why? No, don't be so clever. Don't be so clever so quickly. Chinese inflation, I can say you, on food front, China
overall inflation in China is just over 7%. It's fallen from 9%.
I come back to the overall. Overall inflation for more than 6 weeks in India time. More than 8.20%. More than 8.20%. And without any Asian economic crisis, without any international oil crisis, in spite of the unexpected international oil economy, India still maintained below 9. It may go a little up, but I'm absolutely hopeful by the Kharif prospect it will come down.
All right, let's then leave inflation. We'll leave the audience to work out what you've said, whether you've given a straight answer or a confused answer. Let me come instead.
If you don't put the confused question, I'll answer straight.
Then let me
if you do not put the straight question, how can I give you the straight?
Let me put a straight question to you. Let's come to the oil price hike. You're under pressure from the left to back off. They want to roll back. Will you stand firm or will you roll back the oil price hike?
We'll stand firm. And I'm glad, first time in the country, majority of the state finance minister stood by the prime minister to reduce their sales tax, VAT, etc., to give more relief.
Will you even stand firm if the left threaten to withdraw support?
Well, if the situation so come, we will discuss that time. But I tell you.
So no longer that firm. Now you're becoming a bit weak.
I am very firm. Whatever we have announced, we are not bringing anything down to that level.
Let me put this to you. Your handling of inflation, your handling of the oil price hike has provided a lifeline to the BJP in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Today, your economic management is actually digging your own government's political grave.
I think our economic management, Karan, I'm sorry to say, you have also not studied. Your homework is very poor. The economic management of India, when you said, what was their revenue deficit when they left the office? What is ours? What is their fiscal deficit? What is ours? Whereas you said loudly, what is they are managing the subsidy? What is our managing the subsidy?
And if you end up with 10%...
What is our disinvestment?
Mr. Dasmunsi, if you end up with 10% inflation, which everyone is predicting, maybe it will go even higher. It will be the worst inflation that India has seen for almost 15 years. That's what matters to people. You have an election ahead of you. Will they vote for you?
I'm quite confident, I'm quite aware that inflation management is really a critical management. I'm absolutely clear in my mind. ultimately, before the people, if the choice comes, who managed economy well, taking all the facts and figures, not the TRP calculation of the electronic media, Sansani, the factual position, then sensible people of India, democratic people of India, again vote for us and not for India.
In which case, explain this to me. Why is A.B. Bardhan, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of India, one of your critical allies, publicly calling for the resignation of the finance minister? If your management is so good, why do your allies want Chidambaram to leave?
This is the problem with the communists. They never try to manage any affairs. If you ask them to manage the economy, come back and join the government, they will not. If you ask him, give the alternate formula, they cannot provide. So therefore, I think Bardhanji is not wrong, because
he's not wrong.
Why not wrong? Let me articulate. Every communist will have to ask either resignation or change or anything till they have the red flag on any small or significant issue. So I don't blame
Bardhanji. So you don't take Bardhanji,
CPI secretary.
So you don't take Bardhanji, as you call him, seriously.
Bardhanji feels, resign, Chidambaram, you please resign. Who will come? How do you do? He has no policy, he has no objective, he has no assessment.
So let me end this by asking a simple question. You are satisfied with the manner in which Chidambaram, Montek Singh Ahluwalia and the Prime Minister are handling the economy?
Management is not Chidambaram. Management is not Montek Singh Ahluwalia. This individual isolation of the person is choosy item of the newspaper and the anchors of the election.
Are you satisfied with the economic management?
I think the economic management of Dr. Manmohan Singh-led government is such that those who are criticizing Manmohan Singh's government, they should learn the economics once again as a student to the former professor of Delhi School of Economics, Dr. Manmohan Singh, as to how Europe is managing economy, how India is managing economy, and how China is managing economy.
All right.
Let all those left leaders also say, manage the economy much more better than any other. Withdraw the subsidy basket.
Since you've made your point, and you're now going into simply political overdrive and rhetoric, let's take a break and let's come back and talk about the other big issue that is raising doubts about the government's ability to handle its agenda, the Indo-US nuclear deal. Have you got the guts to go for it, or at the critical moment will you stumble and fall? See you in a moment after the break.
The committee will decide what course we are going, but I am absolutely clear in my mind, in a coalition politics in a government which is seeking support from others, there such kind of confusion, such kind of things may come, but we shall not let down our Prime Minister.
Will the NCP, the RJD and the DMK stand by the Prime Minister and the nuclear deal, or will they let him down?
All stand by the Prime Minister.
All?
All.
I'm just repeating it. RJD?
Everybody stand by the Prime Minister.
DMK?
Everybody stand by the Prime Minister.
NCP?
As much as you try to split, I can again tell you, please don't attempt. We are all with the Prime Minister.
In which case, the talks that you're having with the left have already gone through 8 rounds.
Obviously,
let me finish. Let me finish.
Yes, please.
You've gone through 8 rounds. Everyone is convinced that the left is simply playing for time. The left is trying to kill the deal. People are saying a moment has come when the government should say, enough is enough. We have to decide one way or another.
I think you are trying to articulate the speech of Prime Minister, which is not correct. Prime Minister prepares his speech, whether enough or not anything, by himself. So please do come. People's perception is left is hitching on this issue from time long, and government perception is we have a responsibility to take everybody into board, to convince them and convince them and convince them. That is why a committee is working, and democracy, it is not wrong.
But there will come a time when you either sacrifice the deal and protect the alliance with the left, or you say to the left, sorry, we failed to convince you, but we're going with the deal.
When that time will come, you please again call me.
But I'm asking you, the country has a right to hear a clear answer.
Why you are unnecessarily gathering cloud? The cloud which has not been formed.
The cloud at the moment, as you call it, is all over the front pages. It's all over television news. Let me finish.
Anything come in the front page which does not appear.
Mr. Dasmunsi, this is too important to be taken as a joking matter.
I'm not joking. 2 years back, same current.
Mr. Dasmunsi,
I can
Mr. Dasmunsi, let me finish the question. Is this government committed to securing the nuclear deal and taking it to the IAEA so that it can happen while George Bush is still president? Yes or no?
George Bush is
still president.
Well, I do not know. That point I cannot answer whether George Bush is president during his tenure, but I can tell you whatever Prime Minister committed, whatever Prime Minister promised with the whole concurrence of the cabinet, we are not letting down our Prime Minister till the last day of the tenure.
So will the nuclear deal have gone through the IAEA stage and the NSG stage and be given back to the US Congress before the end of this year?
Well, I do so. The way things are moving, it may so happen.
It may so happen.
Yes. Yes, I feel so.
And you are prepared, if need be, to defy the left to ensure this?
I will not use any word of any constituent who are outside, but I can say with authority, we are not letting down our Prime Minister in any manner whatsoever.
My last question, Mr. Dasmunsi, is Mrs. Gandhi as committed to the Indo-US nuclear deal as the Prime Minister?
I think absolutely you are correct. Mrs. Gandhi, as the head of the party and the UPA, is fully committed as to what Prime Minister explained in Parliament and after signing the whole arrangements with the US President. And there is no difference between Mrs. Gandhi and Prime Minister. There are attempts in the country by media in various sections to create a mischievous difference between Mrs. Gandhi and Prime Minister, including the nuclear treaty which has been signed in the deal separately for energy. Mrs. Gandhi is equally committed to Prime Minister as Prime Minister is committed to the nation.
So Mrs. Gandhi is committed to the nuclear deal? Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
Mr. Dasmunsi, a pleasure talking to you.